Hello, citizens of YouTube land.
Hey.
It's your president and your VP, and we're back one more time today with a Q&A review. Well, some that we've done in the past, as you guys know, like the 13 Reasons Why and the Cape Fear videos.
Yep, and today we're taking a look at Rocket Man, a 2019 musical biography pick about one of the biggest musical sensations. Well, I say one of them because there were a lot of them of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, known as Elton John. This movie,
Sir
Sir
Elton John.
Yes, I should say that, but he didn't really get that official name from the Queen of England until he started the Elton John's AIDS Foundation. But that's a whole nother story for a different day. But the reason why this movie was made was because I've done my research on this. The reason why the movie was made and released in 2019 was it was going to kick off Sir Elton John's farewell tour. That was going to be a 3-year tour because it was going to be his final tour.
But then,
coronavirus.
I was getting into it. A little thing called COVID happened.
Yeah. So he then started working with Metallica and Gorillaz.
That's odd.
Yeah. So you're welcome about that fun little fact. Let me take a sip here.
Share the wealth.
Okay. The movie's made by Paramount Studios, and I gotta say something real quick. I freaking love Paramount Studios. If you know them guys, they made the Godfather trilogy. They did the most recent Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Their TV studio does a fantastic job on the Walker reboot. They're also the ones who did both 13 Reasons Why and The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix. I freaking love Paramount. They can do no wrong in my eyes.
The Indiana Jones trilogy.
Yeah.
Fourth one doesn't count.
Yeah. So, the movie starts off with Elton John basically going to rehab. It's a 90s Elton John as he's going through rehab from his cocaine addiction, his alcohol addiction, and because it's a rated R movie, I'm even going to say it, his sex addiction, as he puts it in his movie, because he says, yeah, he's a sex addict, a cocaine addict, he's addicted to prescription drugs. He's just a mess at this point in time. So he's basically telling his story where he's like, my name is Elton Hercules John.
Is this before or after the Lion King soundtrack?
I think he went into rehab before the Lion King soundtrack, and Disney hired him after he got out and was clean. He's been clean, by the way, for over 20 years, so good job, Elton, for staying that way.
Yeah, big respect to you, bud.
If you're ever gonna watch this, huge fan, by the way. I love it. Rocket Man is a great song. So, anyways, the movie first starts out. He's like, my name is Elton Hercules John, which is his stage name, but his real name is Reginald Dwight, and he was born in the 40s. He was born in the 40s, and he was raised throughout the 50s. And his father is kind of a deadbeat. He does not care about his family at all, but, I mean, his father does work for the Royal Military, so it's kind of like, his father is in the military for the British, for Great Britain.
Yeah.
So, for the United Kingdom. So the Royal Military, basically. And before all that, we get this first song in this musical, because yes, it is a musical. It's a musical. It's a musical fantasy biopic. Basically, they try to cash in on the whole Bohemian Rhapsody trend. If you guys know that movie, it's actually kind of good, but I think Rocket Man's a little bit better.
Probably, to interject for a moment, probably also along the same lines as, like, Dirt or Walk the Line.
Yeah.
Those both also portray said band in the case of Dirt and said singer in the case of Walk the Line, and how they kind of spiral down and then rise back up.
Yeah. So, anyways, Elton John, he basically tells them that his real name is actually Reginald Dwight, and that so then his little Reginald Dwight, then sings the Elton John song, "The B Word Is Back." I can't really say it for reasons because little children watch our show, but
yeah, that's why if you guys ever wonder, that's why we usually refrain from using foul, coarse language. It's because of that reason. We have children that watch these videos.
Yeah, and parents, don't let children watch Rocket Man, because I already told you there's drug use, there's language, there's
nudity.
Not really nudity, but there's an implied gay relationship sex scene, I should mention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, because, well, Elton John in real life, if you know the real Elton John, he's in fact gay. I mean, he's been in an openly gay marriage since 2014, when it was legal in Wales, where he was actually born.
You know, and that brings up an interesting point, guys, and that is that the United States actually kind of were the progressors as far as that movement went.
Yeah. So we then get to see Elton John. We get to see Reginald Dwight, and he basically plays on his piano, and he's a prodigy, which is another thing that the film gets right, because the real Elton John was in fact a child prodigy. And in fact, he got a scholarship to the Royal Music Academy, which is like a huge deal. Like, a lot of famous musical composers went to this academy, so it's a big deal for people to go to this academy, because if you go to this, that means you're top of the top.
And might I also point out for a moment, guys, is mad respect to our cousins across the Great Pond there in England and Wales and Scotland, Great Britain. You guys have given us some of the most phenomenal rock stars of all time, and we can't be more appreciated for it.
Yeah. So, basically, we then see him grow up into a teenager where he's been taking music lessons, and again, there's like this moment where it's a fantasy, but it shows like little Reginald Dwight playing the intro to Rocket Man on his little piano. I'm like, how's he playing this if Rocket Man hadn't came out for like 20 years after this moment? It's like, I get it, it's supposed to be a musical fantasy and all, and it's all a fantasy, but still, it's just like, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But I get it, it's for storytelling purposes. So then we see him grow into a teenager, where then he goes to the Royal Music Academy, because I told you he's a prodigy and all that. And his mother decided to cheat on his father, and his father basically says, "Screw you, I'm out. It's time to get out of here. I don't care anymore. I finally have a reason to leave you guys. I was only here because of Reggie, but now I can get out of here. Peace, adios, I'm out."
Fair enough.
So yeah, there you go. And his stepdad is actually a little bit more of a father figure to Reggie than his actual father was.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of ironic. I don't know if that's ever happened to people out there, but yeah, that's kind of how that's happened.
Well, full disclosure, guys, I've had a few men as I was growing up in my teenage years, when my own pops wasn't necessarily around, that helped influence the man that I would become.
Yeah. So he then basically gets like a Elvis-style haircut, because he wants to be a rock star when he grows up. And he's like playing at this bar, by the way.
So in the movie, he's influenced by Elvis.
He's influenced by his stepfather, who helps him get rock records of Elvis. and he's influenced by Elvis to become a piano rock star, basically. So there you go. He's also playing in a bar at like 12.
But I don't know if that ever actually happened or not.
I don't know either, but mind you, this is also a different time period. This is like the 50s and 60s, so then we move to adult Elton, where he's played by, I think his name is Taron Egerton or something like that. It's Taron something, I can't remember. But he's played by him, and Elton John, he's like, respects. I totally like them. I totally like him portraying me. And so we then get the song Saturday's Night is Alright for Fighting.
Yeah, great song.
Yeah, it's a great song by Elton John. You should listen to it. You should buy this soundtrack and listen to it. It's very good. So we get that.
Does Benny and the Jets feature in it?
Yes.
Love the song. Great song, guys.
Yes, it is featured, and I'll get to that. So Elton, he then goes to a record company where he plays, and then like the record person, he's like, what's your name? And he's like, my name is Elton, because he had thought about changing his name to something else, and it was one of his band members. And then he looks at a picture, and then like the guy is like, Elton what? And then he looks at a picture, and there's John Lennon from the Beatles, and he's like, Elton John. And by the way, that's the only part that they really got wrong, was how he got his last name John. It was actually from another one of his band members that helped him come out with his sexual identity himself.
Well, to be fair, guys, to interject for a moment.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. To be fair, most rock musicians of that time period, and even a lot of them today, use a stage name. I could go with like how the fact that say Ozzy Osbourne, his real name is John, not Ozzy. Ozzy's a nickname. I could also talk about how Marilyn Manson, getting a little off topic, but Marilyn Manson is a stage name. That's not his real name. And neither is Alice Cooper.
Or Freddie Mercury.
He did legally change his name.
Or Freddie Mercury.
And didn't Elton John legally change his name to Elton John?
Yeah, I think, he legally changed his name to Elton Hercules John. Instead of Reginald Dwight. But he was born Reginald Dwight, and then he legally changed his name to his stage name, Elton Hercules John. So he then meets up with his partner, or his writing partner, I should say, Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
So Bernie is his lyricist. He writes all of his lyrics and stuff. Elton composes them and sings them, and then he like does his little piano shtick. You know, he's like do 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 do.
Do you think maybe he might have been influenced by, say, Jerry Lee Lewis?
Possibly,
because those of us who know a little bit about him, he was the man that wrote like Great Balls of Fire and had the piano theatrics with it.
Yeah.
So maybe, just maybe, not saying for sure, but maybe a little Elton's stage presence also came from him.
Yeah. So after a while, he then goes. I'm fast forwarding a little bit. He gets a record deal with the record in the United Kingdom, and he goes to the Lubador in Los Angeles, where he plays for the first time, and he's like a big hit. He's exploding. He's a big hit at the Lubador in Los Angeles, and he even excuse me, sorry. And then we get one of my favorite Elton John songs. Crap, now I can't think of it. No. What's the name of it now? I always have it stuck in my head.
Dancer?
Tiny Dancer, yes, thank you. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of it.
Gave him a little hint, guys.
I couldn't think of it. It was Tiny Dancer. So they sing Tiny Dancer after this whole thing in a party scene, where he then meets up with his longtime partner. He meets up with his longtime partner, who turns out to be the main villain of the movie, because come on, obviously you have to it for story purposes.
Yeah.
He wasn't really the villain in his whole life. It's again, movie purposes, guys, okay?
And also apologize. We know it's starting to look a little dark in here, but we're running out of our natural light we use.
We're sorry, guys. I'll try to speed things up here, but there's a lot of important moments, like the part where Elton John tries to kill himself 3 days before a concert.
Is it a result of like a drug breakdown, spiral type thing?
Yeah, and I have to tell the story about the whole thing. Basically David, he meets Elton John. He meets up with Elton John later. He's like, come on, tell me what you really want. And then he basically introduces him into like cocaine and all of the big hard drugs, and then Elton John gets hooked into prescription drugs, where then we see him where he's at a party, he's having a big party at his house, and he's like for my next trick I'm going to kill myself, and then he goes splashing into the pool. And I'm like, Elton, sure you want to do that, buddy? I mean, and we then get to see Rocket Man play Foley in the movie. It's played Foley. He then has to get his stomach pumped, and he has to, like, because of all the pills and stuff, and then he's like switched out of of his normal clothes and into like a baseball uniform, and then he's singing the rest of Rocket Man. And then comes the scene that you've probably been waiting for, Dad. Benny and the Jets. It is featured in the movie. He's like, this is for all of you sober people out here, and he like hits the chord. He's like, doom, doom, and then he sings Benny and the Jets, and then he's about to play again, I'm glossing over a lot of things here because for timing purposes of the video. He then goes to Madison Square Garden, where then he realizes he's a mess. Like, he's an absolute mess. He's an alcoholic, he's a drug addict, he's living the typical rock star lifestyle of the 80s. And he realizes he needs to get help. And so he basically walks out of the building, and then the villain, I forgot his name now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But the villain, he kind of just says, Elton, where are you going? He's like, I don't care anymore, I'm going to go get some help. And so then he like goes through rehab and all this, and then for story purposes, they play the song by him, I'm Still Standing, where the ending of the film, they basically recreate the music video for I'm Still Standing for the ending of the film, and that's kind of how it ends. Again, I'm glossing over a few things, Dad. You may want to watch it for yourself if you want to get the full details of it.
So a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Like, does the movie reveal when he found his life partner? And
it reveals at the very end what it is, because they reveal to them. The movie reveals at the very end a picture of him and his now marriage partner that he's with, and their 3 children that they basically adopted. And oh my goodness, this lighting sucks.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's not completely dark though.
No. Anyways, but yeah, they reveal that, and they said that Elton John in 2020 was going to be going on his farewell tour. That got canceled, and so he was doing a project with Metallica because of the cancellation. So, I'm looking forward to that, honestly. I'm really excited about that.
Might be cool.
And also, Dad, remember that video that we did on the Saved by the Bell story? Mm-hmm. And how we basically made fun of Dustin Diamond? Mm-hmm. He died recently.
I know he did.
Okay. Guys, we're sorry about that. That makes us look like complete and total a-holes.
I'm not sorry about it.
I am, because
I'm sorry that he got cancer and all and ended up passing away, but I'm not sorry about the fact that he was a spiteful, disgusting human being who kept trying to cash in on the success of others.
Okay.
Did that about tell you what my feelings of him was?
Yeah. So, like I said, the film basically...
But much condolences to the friends and relatives of Dustin Diamond.
Yeah, we're sorry that you're gone now, Dustin.
I just wish you'd been a better person.
Yeah, it was.
But I don't know you personally. I didn't know him personally, but I can tell you about the things that he had done up until that point, and yeah, so.
Yeah, but anyways, like I said, the film, it's very good. I suggest you check it out for yourself. That it's on Hulu. It's on Amazon Prime. In case if you're wondering where you can find it, you can watch it on Hulu. You can watch it on Amazon Prime, DVD, or Blu-ray. There you go. I give this film a 5 out of 5. Again, I had watched this 3 times beforehand. It's really good. I suggest you should watch it. Like, the film just does an amazing job. Excuse me. I wouldn't expect anything else from Paramount Studios because, again, they just do really good stuff. So, yeah, that's my final rating for a 5 out of 5. What say you, Dad, from what you've heard?
Well, it sounds like a great movie. I can't really give an official rating on it. I will have to check it out at some point. Maybe we can do a follow-up or something where I can give, or mention it later on that I did watch it and give the rating from there. But with that having been said,
I'm taking it. If you haven't seen Rocket Man, and you think it is the worst film ever, and it never should have been made, and there should have only been Bohemian Rhapsody, well, you're wrong, because Rocket Man is a great film. That's your opinion. But hey,
we're just two idiots with a cell phone camera. Our opinions do not matter, except they actually do, because we have a YouTube show. Except they actually don't. So, having said all that, there's just one more thing to say. And that is, peace and love from Denny and Son. Bye. See you guys next time.
Yep.